RTI directly. Okay.
Okay.
RTI, under RTI, you can only ask certain information, right? So one thing that they can ask him, Mr. So-and-so has superannuated or not, has he been paid pension or not? These are the kind of questions that can be asked. But when a person is absconding for more than for such a long time, there are connected issues. Why these people are asking is they may be entitled for a pension. The wife may be entitled for a family pension. Okay. Now for
That is the
that, the
reason.
answer is that's the reason. The answer is this is more of an administrative issue. It is not an RTA issue. Okay. Now the reason, the solution for this is any administration, if any person is absconding, okay, the first thing is they have to file an FIR. Organization also has to file an FIR. The individual family also has to file an FIR. Second thing, as far as organization is concerned, if an employee is absconding, okay, there is a time limit up to which you will wait. And the family members are asking for their pension. Okay, they are asking for GPF. Okay, he had so much amount in the GPF. We are helpless now. Please give us that. Now, can the government give? Yes, there is a limit in criminal procedure code in the law that after 7 years, okay, after 7 years of the person has been, if the person has been absconding for more than 7 years, the person will be declared dead in the eyes of law. Okay, so once the person is declared dead, then all the retirement benefits or superannuation benefits can be given to whoever is entitled to. So this is the procedure they should follow. This has nothing to do with the RTA. Okay, if the administration has not done anything, they should file an FIR and issue a office order that as per so and so, yes, we have been absconding for more than so and so, he is struck off from the strength role of this office. Once he struck off, there must be a police case. We can talk to the police station also. There must be some procedure. Legally, that person will be treated as dead person. Okay. Now, for example, see in 2013-14, there is a lot of floods in Uttarakhand. All of us must have known. Okay. When Kedarnath, Badrinath, there was a tremendous amount of thousands of people were missing. Okay. Their bodies were not bound. Okay. But then normal situation is they had to wait for 7 years for them to be declared dead. But what the government did, taking as an exception because of the criticality of the situation, they issued an order that all these people who have been found missing, maybe after a year or so, or 2 years or so, they were declared dead. So that the family members can avail the compensation, they can get the benefits, or if some of them is a government employee, they can get the retirement benefits. So this is purely an administrative matter that has and nothing to do per se with RTA. Okay. Right, Nandini? Right. Okay. Any other question, please?
Thank you.
Anybody? Welcome. It's a pleasure. I think we can proceed with the PowerPoint presentation that we were having yesterday, right? We will continue there. There doesn't seem to be much of questions from anybody. Okay. Let's go back to the presentation. No, sorry. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now we were in the exemptions. We were talking about the exemptions. Okay. Let's appeal, second appeal. We had talked about penalties. We were coming to exemption. Let us reinforce it by going through it once again very quickly. Under section 8, the first exemption is any information, the revelation of which will prejudicially affect the sovereignty, integrity of India, security, strategic, scientific, or economic interest, or relations with foreign state, or lead to incitement of an offense. This is exempted from purview of RTI. Any information which has been expressly forbidden by a court of law or tribunal, or maybe a contempt of court is exempted, right? Where disclosure would cause breach of privilege of parliament or legislature, this information is also exempt. Commercial confidence, trade secrecy, intellectual property rights, where disclosure would harm in its fiduciary relationship unless larger public interest so warrant. Both of which we had detailed in yesterday, right? Any information received in confidence from the foreign government, I discussed the case study of black money case. Okay, if a foreign government gives you a list of your citizens who have accounts in their banks, with the condition that we are giving it to you, but then you will not put it in the public domain unless you want to file a criminal case against it. Okay. Endangers the life or physical safety of identifies the confidential source of information about the standard. Security and intelligence agencies have a list of informers or kabaris. Okay. The information relating to them, if it is revealed under RTI, it will endanger the life and physical safety of those persons, hence is not covered under RTI. Any information which will impede, affect the process of investigation or apprehension. Okay, preliminary investigation is going on. At that time, if somebody asks for some information and the organization feel that at this stage, if I reveal this, the person, the suspected persons may get away with this thing. So such cases also is not covered. Cabinet papers, naturally it is not at your level, it is only at the central ministerial level. This is outside the ambit of RTI. Personal information which would cause invasion of privacy unless larger public interest justifies it. Okay. So any personal information relating to you, right, that is also normally not givable under RTI. Any information, copyright, if the person has a copy, your library has a book, we discussed yesterday, individuals who have a copyright, their information cannot be given under RTI. They are purely covered by the provisions of the Copyright Act, right? Now came to other provisions where a practicable part of the record to be released. Section 10, we discussed about severability clause. Sever the exempted portion from the original record and give the record. Intelligence and security agencies exempt except for corruption and human rights. I told you about section 24 and schedule 2. There are about 22, 23 intelligence organizations who are not who are exempted for the purpose of their core functions. Okay, but they are covered for corruption and human rights. Third party information to be released after giving notice to and hearing the third party. We will see that in detail now, section 11. Now, this is very important. Most exempt information to be released after 20 years. See, if you read section 8, it says under section 8, okay, except 8(1)(a), C and I. A is national security, C is parliamentary privilege, and I is cabinet papers. National security, parliamentary privilege, and cabinet papers. Now, only these three exemptions are absolute exemptions. They are exemptions till the government decides so, unless the government decides to disclose them. All other exemptions are subject to one, public interest, and the duration or the longevity of the information. That means any information which is normally exempted, but it is 20-year-old information. Okay. 25 years ago, somebody did something, some information is available with you. I want a copy of that. If you get an RT application like that, first you have to find out whether the information is available. Is 25-year-old information available in your office? Question number one. If it is available, to take up that information and check up whether it is exempted or not. Now, if the information is exempted, Now come and this last is given. 3 says if the information is more than 20 years old, even if it is exempted, it has to be provided. I hope it's clear to you, right? If there is, let us say there is intellectual property right information which is 30 years old, somebody is asking, the information is 30 years old, it is available on my record. If it is available, I have to give it because that information is givable under public interest. If there is a public interest, it can be given, number one. And even if there is no public interest, just because it has been more than 20 years, time, okay, there is a question of time lag. If the time passed, elapsed is more than 20 years, any information which is more than 20 years has to be provided, irrespective of the fact whether it is exempted or not. But there are 3 exemptions: 81A, national security; 81C, parliamentary privilege; and 81I, which is cabinet papers. These 3 information have no time limitation, nor have they any public. They are absolute exemptions. Till the government decides we will not give this information, they will not give this information. Okay, right. Now, provided that the information which cannot be denied to parliament or a state legislature shall not be denied to any person. Now, this is a very, very important provision in the act. Okay. As PIOs or as first appellate authorities, when you receive an application seeking certain information, you get an interpretation that this information is covered under this, we cannot give this. Before replying to the applicant saying that your information cannot be provided to you because it is exempted, ask yourself a question. Tomorrow, if there is a parliament question seeking this information, will you refuse this information to the Parliament of India? If your answer is no, Parliament को तो हम दे ही देंगे क्योंकि Parliament सबसे सुप्रीम है. अगर इंफॉर्मेशन ऐसे है पार्लियामेंट की मांगने पे आपको देना पड़ेगा, ये समझिए सिटीजन की मांगने पे भी आपको देना पड़ेगा. ओके, आरटीआई का अंडर एप्लीकेशन आने से भी देना पड़ेगा. ये से नहीं हो सकता पार्लियामेंट को तो दे देंगे सिटीजन को नहीं देंगे, बिकॉज आरटीआई practically and effectively it equates the common citizen of India with the parliament. Okay, what you will not deny to parliament, you cannot deny to the citizen. So before finally saying no, ask yourself a question. But for your information, let me tell you something. There are certain categories of information which can be denied to parliament also. Okay, we will not go into the details of that. Okay, so there are certain information the government may keep it with them and say that parliament ko bhi hum nahi karenge, in public interest we will not show it to parliament. If you will not give it to parliament, good enough, you can deny to the citizen also. But if you will not deny to parliament, then you cannot deny such information to the citizen. So this is a very, very important provision. Okay. Now, notwithstanding anything in the Official Secrets Act, nor any of the exemptions, a public authority may allow to the citizen information if public interest in disclosure outweighs the harm to the protected interest. Now, this section 8.2 says this. See, normally we are all aware of Official Secrets Act. What does Official Secrets Act say? 1923 says. I'm sure that all of you, when you join service, you must have signed an undertaking saying that, yes, I have seen and read the provisions of the Official Secrets Act 1923 and undertake to abide by that. Now, to put it in a very nutshell, this provision, Official Secrets Act says that no government servant will release any information that he possesses by virtue of his performing his official duties to any person who is not authorized to receive it. Okay, the government, when we know a lot of things, but we are not, just like a doctor, I told you, fiduciary capacity. Doctor is not supposed to give information about his patients to anybody else. Similarly, as a government employee, we know a lot of things that are in the file. We are not supposed to release anything to anybody. Now, what RTA says is, notwithstanding National Official Secrets Act, nor any of the exemptions listed in section 8, 9 or 10. A public authority, if it wants to release some information where it is of the opinion that the public interest involved in releasing this information overweighs the harm to the protected interest. That means by releasing this information, somebody may be affected. One person may be affected. Whereas the benefit that is possible is for the whole country. Now, what is public interest? And this thing I told you. See, what is public interest? I'll tell you a case. A couple of years of the introduction of the act, there was a doctor couple working in one of the dispensaries in Delhi. Okay. An RTA application was received under which the applicant sought two things. He said, please give me a copy of the MBBS degrees of these doctors, medical degrees of this doctor. Okay. Number two, he said, please also give me he filed another application to the passport office asking that he be provided with the passport copies of both these doctors. Now tell me one thing, passport and the MBBS qualification primarily is a personal information, right? So, and it is not givable to anybody. I can't ask a copy of your passport. I can't ask for a copy of your educational qualification degree normally. Now, this information was denied by the PIO, right? Now he went on an appeal to the first appellate authority saying that I have reasonable grounds to suspect that both these doctors are frauds in the sense they don't have genuine MBBS degrees and still they are practicing in a public hospital. Okay. Now, when a quack doctor is practicing in a public hospital and is treating the public, if he is not medically qualified to treat the public, he is putting the lives of the public at risk. Public who believe that he is a doctor, when you go to a government hospital, you see a board, you don't ask him to show the education qualification, do you? No. You presume that you believe that he or she is a doctor. But if he is a fraud doctor, not a genuine doctor, thousands of people like you are at risk. So he said, he also said, there is a public interest involved in this case. Okay. Well, it is, I'm not 100% sure. I have reasonable reasons to believe. Maybe I am wrong. If I am wrong, I'll be happy because my doubts are cleared. That means I go with the presumption that public is safe. But if my suspension is right, then it is absolutely against the larger public interest. There are two doctors who don't have genuine MBBS degrees working in a government hospital and treating a large number of public. Right? Now, he said it is in public interest, so therefore you should give these copies. Now, the first appellate authority also in both these cases, they refused. They said, we are not satisfied. Now, he went to CIC on an appeal, and at the level of CIC, he won the case. CIC said, yes, we agree there is a public interest involved in this. Somebody was asking about public interest. This is one of the typical examples of what is public interest. Okay, a Farji doctor practicing in a dispensary and treating hundreds and hundreds of public for which he is not qualified is against public interest, right? Now, when CIC ordered, no, give them the copies, both the organizations were forced to give the copies of the passport and this thing. And for your information, both the doctors turned out to be frauds. Both the degrees were not genuine degrees. This was fabricated degrees. Of course, action was taken against them. That is a different issue altogether. But it is also could have been possible that both of them were genuine. Had they been genuine, they would have had a complaint that we are genuine doctors. You spoiled our name by filing this RT application and getting this information. The whole people will talk now. ये इनकी खिलाफ एक RT application file हुआ. लोग इनको now people may not know subsequently that I'm a genuine, but when somebody says I'm a fraud, negative news spreads like anything, but positive news doesn't spread as fast as possible. Yes, my reputation is affected, but the question is wherever there is a question, it's a question of reputation of an individual, vis-a-vis the public interest, it says that the public interest in disclosure outweighs the harm to the protected interest. The example I am giving you, protected interests are the interests of the doctor. Public interest is the interest of the larger public patients who are attending that dispensary, right? So, in public interest, information can be given, notwithstanding the exemptions in RTA and also the provisions of Official Secrets Act 1923. Okay. Information shall ordinarily be provided in the form in which is sought, unless it would disproportionately divert the resources of the public authority or would be detrimental to the safety or preservation of the record in the question. The concerned section is section 7(9). Okay. Now, many organizations, one of the regular complaints that PIOs and officials have is, see, sometimes I get an RT application seeking how much information can you ask in an RT application? Is there any limit? Anybody knows? How much information can I ask?
No limit, sir.
Huh?
No
There is no
limit.
limit. Okay. But the question, therefore, taking advantage of this, people file RT application. Please give me the copies of all the supply orders issued in your station for the last 10 years. Okay. All the supply orders may be available somewhere, but the question is to trace them, retrieve them, and make copies is going to be a stupendous task. Now, it puts the organization into a lot of problem. Virtually, if you have to give it within 30 days, our record management is so wonderful that we don't even know where the file that we finished yesterday is lying. See, government offices में क्या होता है, जब तक फाइल में काम चलता है, फाइल की इंपॉर्टेंट है, फाइल में काम खत्म हो गया, फाइल इज dumped somewhere, and after another 2 months, if somebody asks you where is that file, it will be a Herculean task for you to retrieve that file. Now, ऐसे स्थिति में 10 साल पुरानी फाइलों को कहां से निकालें? पड़ा होगा रिकॉर्ड रूम में, धूल मिट्टी के बीच कहीं पड़ा होगा, बट उसको निकालें कैसे? अगर लेकिन निकालना तो है तो निकालना पड़ेगा. Now, therefore, there is this section 7(9) says, लेकिन उस सबको निकाल के अगर कॉपी करके देना है, आपके ऑफिस को 1 हफ्ते के लिए बंद करना पड़ेगा कम से कम, राइट? ऑफिस का हम पूरा बंद करेंगे 1 हफ्ते 15 दिन, तभी जाके शायद हो पाएगा. ओके. लेकिन आरटीए का ऑब्जेक्टिव में हमने देखा, आरटीए का ऑब्जेक्टिव इज नॉट टू put obstacles in the functioning of the organization. RTA's obstacle is to ensure transparency and accountability in the functioning of public authority. So, when people ask for voluminous information, when people ask for voluminous information, though this section says information shall ordinarily be provided in a form in which it is sought. मतलब जैसे मांगते हैं ऐसे देना पड़ेगा, unless ऐसे देने के लिए it would result disproportionately divert the resources of the public authority or would be detrimental to the safety or preservation of the record in question. Disproportionate diversion क्या है? आपके ऑफिस में 15 लोग काम करते हैं, पिछले 15 साल का रिकॉर्ड मांगा इसने, पिछले 15 साल जितने भी रिकॉर्ड सप्लाई ऑर्डर चुके सबको कॉपी दो. इसको निकलवाने के लिए आपको 10-15 लोगों को, पूरी फौज को आपको काम पे लगाना पड़ेगा, तभी जाके पता लगेगा इंफॉर्मेशन है या नहीं. इसका मतलब ये 1 हफ्ते ऑफिस बंद, ये दिस इज डिस्प्रोपोर्शनेट डाइवर्शन, राइट? देयरफॉर द अदर इशू इज वेयर it would be detrimental to the safety and preservation of the record. Now, again, when I was conducting a RTA workshop in Port Blair, Andaman. All of you know that Andaman and Nicobar Islands are the large hundreds of islands spread over kilometers away. Some islands even 200-250 kilometers away. Okay. हर island में कुछ ना कुछ record होता है. There was one RTA application where the person asked for he said, I want to inspect the original land record that is available in an island which is about 200 kilometers away from Port Blair. Now, so he said, I can't go. You have to bring that original to me here. I will inspect. Then you can take it back. But then this information was denied under this clause because in open seas, high seas, if somebody has to go to that island which is 200 kilometers away and bring that in a small ship or a boat, there is every possibility that there may be a cyclonic storm in between, or the ship may be attacked by somebody, or the ship may sink and the original record will be lost. So bringing that to this island is probably not feasible because it will be detrimental to the safety of the preservation of the record. Therefore, the applicant was denied and he was told, if at all you want to see that, you can go there. आप जाइए उस आइलैंड में, जो रिकॉर्ड जिस स्थिति पे है आपको दिखा देंगे, लेकिन आप उसको छू नहीं सकते. 200 साल पुराने रिकॉर्ड किस हालत में होगा, हाथ लगाते ही पापड़ी पापड़ी हो जाएगा. ओके, सो दीज आर थिंग्स. They were told that you will not give you, we will not make a photocopy. We can't make a photocopy also because it is in such a shape, you can't remove it to make a photocopy. You can go take a picture and come. That is up to you. So it says, 7.9 says, जब लोग voluminous information मांगते हैं, provision is that it should be given normally. However, giving that information in that form, if it is going to result in disproportionate diversion of the resources can mean money, men, material, machine, etc., anything, or would be detrimental to the safety or preservation of the record in question, then such information may not be given in the form in which it is sought. Right? The applicant may be asked to come over and he can specify what he wants and then that will be given. Okay, this is section 7.9. Now let's come to see what is public interest. The interest of general public is a wide import covering public order, health, public security, morals, welfare of the community, and the objectives mentioned in part 4. See, to put it in very simple terms, public interest is the interest of the larger public. Okay. It can be in education, it can be health, it can be security, it can be morality. You can talk about anything else. So if the competent authority thinks there is a public interest involved, the information can be given. Okay. Disclosure of information that leads towards greater transparency and accountability in the working of public authority. Okay. Public authority key functioning, if it gets more accountable and transparent, that itself is a public interest. Right? Okay. Now coming to third party, we have discussed it briefly. Now let us see who is the third party. Whenever an RTA application is filed, there are three parties involved. First party is the requester. That means the applicant. जो application देता है वो requester is first party. Now second party is the public authority or the PIO's office to whom the request is made. Now there is a third party. The third party can be an individual, NGO, company, another government, or public authority. Okay. So any of these can be a third party. Now section 11 that we discussed, first party makes a request to the second party. Now second party issues a notice to the third party. One, when does a third party to be consulted? Condition number 1, PIO must intend to disclose information. सबसे पहले PIO को ये तय करना पड़ेगा, ये information देने लायक है, इसलिए मैं information दे दूंगा, मुझे देना चाहिए. अगर उसको लगता है ये information exempted है, ये information देने की जरूरत नहीं है, फिर third party consult करने की जरूरत है, आप सीधा reject कर लो. Now condition number 2 is the information relates to or has been supplied by a third party. The information relates to or has been supplied by a third party, right? Condition 3, the information has been treated by confidential as a third party. The third party who has given this information to you has told you, सर दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इज कॉन्फिडेंशियल, मैं आपको दे रहा हूं क्यों, आपकी कंजम्पशन के लिए, लेकिन आप मेरे से पूछे बगैर आप किसी और को ये ना बताएंगे ना दे देंगे, right? And I am giving this information only for your consumption. So clause 1 which deals with third party procedure will come into play only if all these three conditions are fulfilled. Condition number 1, PIO must intend to disclose information. Condition number 2, the information relates to or has been supplied by a third party. Condition number 3, the information has been treated as confidential by the third party. Now this confidentiality can be, as I told you, it can be explicit. The party may say specifically that आप किसी और को नहीं कहेंगे. कई केस में पार्टीज कुछ कहते नहीं है लेकिन implied है confidentiality. When I am giving you the copy of my bank account passbook, okay. For example, when you file when you acquire property, you intimate the competent authority. Competent authority tells us that yes, please show some document to prove that you got so much savings. आपने अपना पासबुक की कॉपी उनको दे देते हो, राइट ना. आपने ये नहीं लिखते हो ये कॉन्फिडेंशियल किसी और को नहीं देना, लेकिन द कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी इन दैट केस इज implied. No government administration can give the passport copy or a bank account copy, bank passbook copy to any other person who is not interested in that, right? So that is implied confidentiality. कई केसेस में ये होता है confidentiality is very specifically mentioned. Okay, there is a confidential report. The report itself is confidential, that means information is confidential. आगे बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. It is not implied, it is otherwise. Okay, so when these three conditions are involved, okay, now what is the process? Step 1, if all three conditions are met, then the PIO within 5 days contact the third party and inform them to make a written or oral submission within 10 days. 5 दिन के अंदर उनको लिखना है, उनको 10 दिन की टाइम देना है regarding whether the information should be disclosed or not. हमारी हिसाब से डिस्क्लोज कर देना चाहिए, आप बताइए डिस्क्लोज करें या ना करें, right? Now step 2, PIO to consider third party's representation. 10 दिन के अंदर थर्ड पार्टी लिखित में देगा रिप्रेजेंटेशन या डायरेक्टली आके भी बोल सकता है. इन बोथ द कंडीशन द third party's objections, if any, should be considered by the PIO and then PIO to take a decision. Because you are given 10 days to the third party, now your time available to take the decision is 30 plus 10, 40 days. Okay. Now step 3, if PIO decides to disclose, third party can make an appeal. So notice number 2 में आपको लिखना पड़ेगा, मेरे हिसाब से I have taken a decision to disclose this information, but you have a right of appeal within 30 days from the date of issue of this letter. If appeal, information will be disclosed only after the decision on appeal, both the appeals, first and second appeal, right? Third party can appeal to the Departmental Appellate Authority within 30 days of PIO, to an information commission within 90 days when they issue the appellate order. Can sue for compensation if not properly consulted. और जहां थर्ड पार्टी ने आपको इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है, उन्होंने बोला कि ये कॉन्फिडेंशियल है, लेकिन उसको नजरअंदाज करते हुए आप इंफॉर्मेशन दे देते हो, the third party has got a legal right to sue you. Now sue you means it can be the PIO or it can be the public authority, right? Now what are some general documents of public interest? Some documents of general public interest. Documents relating to the government procurement of goods and services. यह हमेशा public interest पे है. Government loans, grants and awards, public interest. Expenses of government official. Officials की टूर पे कितना खर्चा हुआ. Officials की मीटिंग पे चाय पाने के लिए कितना खर्चा हुआ. Right? These are all government of LTC पे कितना खर्चा हुआ. ये सब गवर्नमेंट पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट डॉक्यूमेंट दे देना चाहिए. Internal guidelines, policies, and practices are open. Audit reports are open. Criteria, norms, guidelines for promotion should be open. Threshold marks fixed by the board for promotion. Okay. Promotion board हो रहा है, लेकिन threshold mark क्या है? Anybody who gets a mark of more than 60% will be promoted. So it should be open. Marks awarded by the committee members. Okay, अलग committee member ने क्या कितना mark award किया? That is open. Detail the offices promoted placed in sensitive positions. आपके promotion orders open है, sensitive position में कौन available, that's open. Recommendations of search committee. Search committee is a committee which looks for very, very senior position. Okay. For example, अगला CIC को अपॉइंट करना है. कई बार गवर्नमेंट एक सर्च कमेटी बनाते हैं या अगले डायरेक्टर जनरल को अपॉइंट करना है. गवर्नमेंट अपॉइंट्स अ सर्च कमेटी. They get people. So recommendation of the search committee is open. File noting, if not containing any exempted information. File notings are not exempted perhaps, okay. But file notings में जो लिखा हुआ उनमें से कोई कंटेंट ऐसा है जो नहीं देना चाहिए, पर मत दीजिए. Otherwise, file noting as a category is not exempted. Now, interestingly, Department of Personal Training, who is the administrative ministry for this act, in 2007 or 8, they had put an OM on the website saying that file notings are not covered under RTI. Okay. See, repeats of this OM remained on the website for quite a few years. And ultimately, with a lot of difficulty, lot of emphasis, only then CIC could convince the DOPT to remove this OM. Okay. So basically, what is covered and what is not covered, which are the organizations covered under RTI, that also evolves over a period of time. Proceedings of committee meetings, grounds of re-employment and guidelines of re-employment, investigation report after the action is complete in every respect. After the action is complete in every respect. Copy of preliminary or fact-finding inquiry report after applying severability clause required. Okay, sometimes preliminary investigation report aata hai. Somebody asks for that copy, that can be given after severing whatever is exempted or not permissible. टूर प्रोग्राम एंड ट्रैवल एक्सपेंसेस, लेकिन टूर प्रोग्राम में ऐसे है आप सेंसिटिव डिपार्टमेंट में है, आर्मी में कोई मेजर जनरल कहाँ टूर पे जा रहा है, ये शायद सेंसिटिव इंफॉर्मेशन होगा, सो इट मे बी डिनाइड. Similarly, if your All India Radio DG or CEO of Prasar Bharati is going on tour, if he is going to forward areas of Army, Navy, Air Force, maybe on security grounds you may be able to deny that. But then the travel expenditure has to be removed. You know, normal tour program and travel expenditure has to be, because tour is an official tour. Okay. Now, next is information relating to donation, etc. Salary drawn by the employees. We have discussed it today briefly. Cabinet note for appointments committee of the cabinet after the matter is complete in all respects. CBA reports the CB. Yes?
Sir, salary drawn or gross salary, the difference, sir.
What is it? You are drawing the gross salary. Okay, you are not drawing net salary. Drawn means what the government gives you, not take home. Okay, you are drawing the gross salary and taking home the net salary.
Okay. Sir.
What you take home, the net salary is your take home salary. It does not say take home salary. Salary drawn is the pay and accounts officer draws the full amount. And आपकी कटौती कहाँ करना वो बाद में करता है. Right? So salary drawn means gross salary. Okay. So details of government cars used and other facilities, allotments, licenses, status of claims. Now there is certain information normally not to be given. CIC based on CIC decision. Personal details, income, PAN, partnerships. Okay. इनके पास कितनी एफडी है, कौन कौन सी बैंक में एफडी रखा है इसने, okay, what are the PAN numbers of anybody else, these are not to be given, okay. What is his other sources of income, इनको कहाँ से income मिलता है, these are not. Then marks awarded by individual panel experts under different parameters. See, if the interview board में 4 member है and every member gives different marks for different parameters. Okay, technical skills के लिए he give technical skill may be one parameter, right? Communication skills may be another parameter. Experience is another parameter. Innovative thought process, that can be another parameter. Okay. If the committee member has given different marks under different parameters, that marks are not to be given. Total mark disclose कर लेते हैं, but under parameter में कौन कितना दिया. Okay, Mr. लालमणि ने कितना दिया, Mr. जयसाल ने कितना दिया, Mr. कुमार ने कितना दिया, Mr. ओझा ने कितना दिया, कम्युनिकेशन में ऐसा स्प्लिट अप करके नहीं देने का. Of course, assessment report, leave account, medical reports of individuals are not normally to be given. Details of the bank account, right? Not to be given. Answer sheets. Now, answer sheet, see, these are evolving things. It has now evolved. आजकल अपना answer sheet मांगने के लिए पूरे हक है. लेकिन of course, I can't ask your answer sheet. And you can't ask somebody else's answer sheet. But अपना answer sheet, you know, पहले ये भी नहीं था, पहले सीए डिवीजन का था, आंसर शीट दिखाने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन मोर एंड मोर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आर पुटिंग इन प्लेस अ सिस्टम. ओके, बहुत स्कूल एजुकेशन बोर्ड्स अभी सिस्टम बना दिया. रिजल्ट्स आने की 5-15 दिन के अंदर इतना पैसा जमा करके आप आंसर शीट मांग लो अपने किसी भी सब्जेक्ट के लिए. You can take a photocopy of your answer book. Okay, these provisions are gradually coming in almost all the things. But there was a time this was not permissible. Okay. Now, information relating to pensioners. Okay. This also, pensioners are no more your employees. Right? So, किसको कितना pension दे रहे, accounts office may not give. But then, once they become pensioners, if there is a public interest, one can always establish it. Confidential report, this is also something evolving now. पहले तो confidential report, अपना report भी आपको नहीं मिलता था. ओके, बट नाउअडेज कॉन्फिडेंशियल रिपोर्ट्स का क्या नाम है अभी, आजकल कॉन्फिडेंशियल रिपोर्ट कहते हैं,
APAR.
हैं?
APAR.
आज एपीआर हो गया, एसीआर की वजह एपीआर हो गया. इट इज नो मोर कॉन्फिडेंशियल. बट देन प्लीज रिमेंबर, I can only have copies of my own APAR, not somebody else's APAR. That will be a personal detail which will be rejected. Okay. Now, there are other miscellaneous cases. Questions, queries about the nature, quality of action, why, what, when, whether, not covered under RTI. When will Prasar Bharati become a profitable organization? अगर वो RTI आता है ऐसे, आप जवाब दे सकते हो? अभी पता नहीं, if it is already profitable, you can tell me, that's a different thing. Because, or why Prasar Bharati has not opened their DD Kendras in so and so place? Or how many, when will Prasar Bharati open a Doordarshan Kendra at this remote village? These are questions which have no answer in a recorded form. Okay, so give only that answer which is available with you in a concrete form. हो सकता है आप मीटिंग में डिस्कस किए होंगे ऐसे इस जगह पे 4 साल में एक डीडी केंद्र खोल, अगले साल एक डीडी केंद्र खोलेंगे डिपेंडिंग अपॉन अवेलेबिलिटी. It may be an informal decision, but nothing is written, nothing in writing anywhere. At that time, you get an RT application. Don't say we are thinking of opening a DD Kendra and so and so place within a year or so. No, unless you have a record to show that, don't give any answer. So these questions are also not covered. Future course of action, remedy for grievances not covered. Now, RTI is not a grievance redressal mechanism. लोगों की ग्रीवेंस दूर करने का माध्यम नहीं है RTI. लेकिन unfortunately, most of the people use this as a grievance redressal mechanism. Why? Because As far as the employees are concerned, the grievance redressal mechanism is either not available, or if it is available, it is dysfunctional. In other words, वो properly काम नहीं करता. मुझे 4 साल पहले प्रमोशन मिलना चाहिए था, अभी तक डीपीसी नहीं हुआ. मैंने 4 रिप्रेजेंटेशन दे चुका हूँ, वैकेंसी खाली पड़ा. Organization is not interested in conducting the DPC. What I do, I finally file an RTA application. Right. Now, RTA application में इतना साल हो गया, वैकेंसी कितना वैकेंसी है, एक कब से पेंडिंग है, इसमें ऊपर प्रमोशन क्यों नहीं हो रहा? Are there eligible people? I will include 10 questions and file an RTA application. So, the RTA application file करने का नौबत इसलिए आते हैं क्योंकि normal course में organization does not take care of the grievances of the employees. Now, coming to public grievance, there is a public grievance portal of the Government of India. If any public has a grievance, he can put in there. Yes, पब्लिक ग्रीवेंस पोर्टल में डालने के बावजूद कोई एक्शन नहीं हो रहा है, then you may file an RTA application. But basically, RTA is not a grievance redressal mechanism, right? Now, section 6(3) says, I think we discussed yesterday, आपके पास एक गलती से किसी दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट का RTA एप्लीकेशन आ जाता है, आप उसको 5 दिन के अंदर दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट को ट्रांसफर कर सकते हो, right? But this cannot be applied within the same department. Let us say All India Radio Station Cuttack. Okay, वहां मान लो there are 2 PIOs. Okay, एक PIO के पास एक एप्लीकेशन आ गया, उसको लगता है ये मेरा नहीं है, दूसरी PIO का है. Now he transferred that application after 5 days to the other PIO. He is in the corresponding section. That is not permissible. Okay, transfer of application under the same public authority is not permissible. That is why जहाँ large organizations है, जहाँ कई organization में एक से ज़्यादा PIOs होते हैं, कई organization में 20-30 PIOs भी होता है. तो ऐसे organization में there should be a common place called RTA cell or RTA nodal officer. All applications will come there, and that from there it will be distributed to the respective PIO, so that delay is averted and RTA application move on fast track. Okay. Appeal by CPIO against own appellate authority not tenable. कई बार क्या होता है, CPIO ने मना कर दिया इन्फॉर्मेशन, appellate authority कह रहा है दे दो, CPIO को गुस्सा आ जाता है, वो CIC में अपील करता है इसके ऑर्डर के अगेंस्ट. इज इट परमिसिबल? नो. द अपील्स अंडर RTI is only for the citizens, not for the CIO, PIO or the appellate authority, right? Information to be supplied free of charge after expiry of the stipulated time. This we had discussed yesterday. Yes, Lalmani? Mr. Lalmani?
Yes, sir. अगर CPIO जानता है कि इंफॉर्मेशन देने के लिए नहीं है, फिर भी कभी कभी होता है कि अपीलेट अथॉरिटी बोलता है आप इनको इंफॉर्मेशन दे दीजिए, उस केस में क्या होगा सर?
आप नोट में पुटअप करते हो, PIO ये एक बंदा पुटअप सबऑर्डिनेट ऑफिस पुटअप करता है, ये करना नहीं चाहिए
जी.
ऊपर वाला अधिकारी करता, कर लो. अब क्या करोगे?
नहीं करेंगे सर.
हैं?
नहीं करूंगा सर.
नहीं करोगे?
रिस्पांसिबिलिटी है, कैसे करेंगे सर?
नहीं, लेकिन इधर एनी रियल रूल में लिखा ये इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं देना. देखो, लेट मी टेल यू मिस्टर लालमणि, इफ द रूल्स आर 100% क्लियर, this is not to be done. Take it from me, nobody will order you give it information. ये तो हमारी imagination है. If the appellate authority is a quasi-judicial officer, quasi-judicial appeal, if the appellate authority say the information is to be given, the PIO has no choice.
For example, sir.
For anything,
For example, I want to say, sir, जैसे कि अटे एप्लीकेंट्स ने मांगा सैलरी कितना इस महीने कितना मिलता है
क्या,
लेकिन उसके अटे एप्लीकेंट्स ने सैलरी के डिटेल्स मांगा.
हाँ ठीक है.
तो डिटेल्स पूरा ना दे करके उनको एक ग्रास सैलरी हमने बना करके दे दिया.
हाँ
लेकिन अपील उसने दायर किया, इसकी हमको प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं मिला। अपील अथॉरिटी ने बोला आप इनका क्या बोलते हैं, पे स्लिप दे दीजिए, उठा के पूरा पूरा पे स्लिप एज इट इज उनको दे दीजिए।
कौन
तो
सी
फिर
कौन सी कौन सी appellate authority has given such orders? Do you have an order? Please send a copy to me. Please send a copy to me. If any first appellate authority has a pay slip, मैं वही तो कर रहा हूँ ना, पे स्लिप में you can give whatever is the government is giving you. Please understand, पे स्लिप में दो पार्ट होते हैं। एक तो होता है आपको जो सैलरी आप ड्रा करते हो, बेसिक पे इतना, डीए इतना, अलाउंसेस इतना, टोटल इतना, ये आप दे सकते हो। व्हेन आई से ग्रॉस सैलरी, द डिटेल्स ऑफ दैट ग्रॉस सैलरी कैन आल्सो बी गिवन।
या
ठीक है, ये नहीं आप टोटली देंगे बेसिक पे कितना, ये नहीं बताएंगे, इसमें कुछ छुपाने वाली बात तो है ही नहीं है।
नहीं है।
But see, pay slip contains two parts. One is what is drawn by the government for review and what is deducted. What is deducted is not to be given. And let me assure you, no appellate authority will order you to give that. If anybody has done that, please send a copy to me. I will see what can be done.
सर
No
अपील
appellate
अथॉरिटी
authority.
ने बोला कि आप पे स्लिप एज इट इज करके इमीडिएटली दे दीजिए, उस केस में क्या
पे
करना है?
स्लिप एज इट इज नहीं दे सकते, उनको समझाइए। आपको जो appellate अथॉरिटी को फाइल पुटअप करते टाइम आपको ये लिखना पड़ेगा, CIC डिसीजन से आप जाके देखिए, जो there are CIC decisions to this effect, okay, that saying that you can give what the government is giving you. पे स्लिप में दो पार्ट है, आपको इश्यूज एम्प्लॉय को जो सरकार देते हैं उसकी डिटेल दे देते हो, विवरण, लेकिन एम्प्लॉय उस पैसे को कहाँ लगाता है वो उसका पर्सनली है। HPA कितना कटता है उसका, GPF में कितना कटता है, ये नहीं देना।
अच्छा सर, बाय द वे, जैसे कि अपीलेट अथॉरिटी ने पीआईओ को बाईपास करके उस ऑफिस का अकाउंटेंट या डीडीओआर सम अदर्स पीपुल से उसने पे स्लिप मंगा के वो दे सकता है क्या? अगर दे दिया तो
देखो,
केस में क्या होगा?
अगर
एज इट
वो
इज पे
दे
स्लिप।
अगर वो दे देता है, वो अपनी रिस्क पे दे रहा है, दैट्स ऑल।
तो सीपीआईओ क्या करेगा सर, कल को अगर वो
सीपीए
थर्ड
कुछ
पार्टी
नहीं कर,
बोलेगा?
सीपीआईओ को कुछ नहीं करना, अपना सीपीआईओ को तो अपने रिकमेंडेशन देके फाइल भेजना होगा, दैट्स ऑल। सीपीआईओ हैज नो रोल इन डिस्पोजल ऑफ अपील्स। अपील को डिस्पोज करने का स्टैट्यूटरी अथॉरिटी इज विद अपीलेट अथॉरिटी। अगर मैं पीआईओ हूं, आई हैव एन अपीलेट अथॉरिटी, माय जॉब इज ओवर वंस आई हैव रिप्लाइड टू द आरटीआई एप्लीकेशन। जो अपील आता है मेरे पास नहीं आएगा, अपील किसके पास आएगा, अपीलेट अथॉरिटी के पास आएगा। अगर अपीलेट अथॉरिटी मेरे से कमेंट्स मांगता है, मैं मेरा कमेंट्स दूंगा। हो सकता है अपीलेट अथॉरिटी मेरे से कमेंट्स मांगेंगे नहीं, इट्स क्वाइट पॉसिबल, he may take his own decision, that is his decision, that's all. I have no right to question his decision because he has been given power, statutory power to
अपीलेट अथॉरिटी।
appellate authority, that's all.
बट
PIO has no power, PIO has no
थर्ड
power to question the decision of the appellate authority.
तो थर्ड पार्टी
सर
जिसका सैलरी स्लिप दे दिया सर, क्या वो सू कर सकता है, केस कर सकता है
थर्ड
अपीलेट
पार्टी,
अथॉरिटी?
थर्ड पार्टी का इंफॉर्मेशन अगर अपीलेट अथॉरिटी किसी से पूछे बगैर दे देता है, राइट, the third party has got all the right to sue the appellate authority.
तो हमारे केस में जो मैंने बोला सर, पीआईओ को बाईपास करके उसने पे स्लिप बाबू से मांग लिया अपीलेट अथॉरिटी ने, एज दे गिवन टू द आरटीआई एप्लीकेंट्स। इन दैट केस जिस थर्ड पार्टी का पे स्लिप दे दिया विदाउट नॉलेज ऑफ द पीआईओ, तो थर्ड पार्टी किसके अगेंस्ट करके अपीलेट अथॉरिटी में करेगा ना सर?
नहीं, मिस्टर लालमणि, लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग, ये जो पे स्लिप इज नॉट अ थर्ड पार्टी क्लॉज में आता ही नहीं है, प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट्स व्हाट।
किसी आदमी का दिया ना सर?
देखो, पे स्लिप में थर्ड पार्टी में कंडीशंस मैंने बोला था, 3 कंडीशंस। पे स्लिप के मामले में तीनों कंडीशंस फुलफिल होता है। थर्ड पे स्लिप क्या है, ऐसे इंफॉर्मेशन है एम्प्लॉय सरकार को देता है, बोलता है मेरे से पूछे बगैर किसी को नहीं देंगे, कंडीशन लगाता है पे ड्रा करते टाइम, it is not possible. So the pay slip is an information which is not covered under third party clause 11. So don't bring that. Now unfortunately सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हमारे थर्ड पार्टी को नहीं है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग में हम लोगों को क्लैरिटी नहीं है, मोस्ट ऑफ अस वी डोंट हैव क्लैरिटी। थर्ड पार्टी is only when the 3 conditions are fulfilled. First of all, the PIO should be convinced that the information should be given. Exempted नहीं है. पे स्लिप मांगेंगे तो पीआईओ पहले कैसे नतीजे पे पहुंचेगा इंफॉर्मेशन एग्जेम्प्टेड नहीं है? बिकॉज पे स्लिप में आधा इंफॉर्मेशन तो एग्जेम्प्टेड है, आधा है जो सरकार जो देता है वो एग्जेम्प्टेड नहीं है. तो उस पार्ट को पीआईओ को दे देना चाहिए. कई बार क्या होता है, पीआईओ वो भी नहीं देता, पीआईओ उसको मना कर देता, फिर बंदा अपील में जाता है तो अपीलेट अथॉरिटी देखते ये तो दे देना चाहिए था यार, क्योंकि सुओ मोटो डिस्क्लोजर के अंडर भी सेक्शन 4 में हमें ग्रॉस सैलरी निकालना पड़ता है. People don't understand, differentiate between what the government gives you and what is the deductions. So अनजाने में appellate authority भी ऑर्डर कर सकता है इसको दे दो, right? But the fact of the matter is you can informally convince the appellate authority. You have to diplomatically tell him, sir ये नहीं देने का है. लेकिन उसके बावजूद अगर पीआई appellate authority अपना ऑर्डर इश्यू कर लेता है, he is contemptuous to that. You have no role in that. You have no right to question his order. It is like telling me, मान लो हाई कोर्ट में, सिविल कोर्ट में केस है, सिविल कोर्ट का जज कोई जजमेंट देता है, राइट? बंदा हाई कोर्ट में जाता है, हाई कोर्ट इसका उल्टा जवाब देता है, उल्टा जजमेंट देता है ना कभी ना. ना सिविल जज ये थोड़ी हाई कोर्ट के ऊपर अपील थोड़ी करेगा जज. मैंने जजमेंट दिया, मैंने करेक्ट जजमेंट दिया, तुमने इसको बदल दिया. We are working in a hierarchical system. PIO के ऊपर appellate authority है, appellate authority के ऊपर Central Information Commission है. Now tomorrow by extending this logic you will say that okay मैंने मना कर दिया, appellate authority ने भी मना कर दिया, CIC कह रहा दे दो, तब आप क्या बोलोगे? Will you fight with CIC? That's exactly this says. That is exactly the point I'm making here. The appeal by CPIO against own appellate authority not tenable in the eyes of law, because appeal ka provision privilege is only with the citizen or the applicant. CPIO को अपील करने का कोई इश्यू नहीं. He can informally bring to the notice of his superiors, okay, on a separate file, not as part of this. Now again, it is in this context also. Yesterday afternoon when I started it, I told you every organization should come out with a ready reckoner. अगर आपके पास एक ready reckoner होता, पे स्लिप में क्या देना है क्या नहीं देना, ये प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं आएगा आपको. Okay, a negative list and a positive list. Every organization should come out with a negative list and positive list, and that ready reckoner should be available with every PIO so that there is no confusion. And PIO appellate authority के पास भी होना चाहिए, so उनको भी very clearly हमारे ready reckoner कहता है ये information नहीं देना, right? Not only that, you should, this ready reckoner can be published for your clients also, so that if I am a RT applicant, आप प्रसार भारती तो कुछ information मुझे लेना है, I am thinking of filing an RT application. Now if somebody tells me, yeah, Prasar Bharati has published a ready reckoner, what they will give and what they will not give. Now, if I go through that, and this ready reckoner should be available on your website also. अगर मैं वेबसाइट में देखता हूँ जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मुझे चाहिए वो प्रसार भारती एज अ मैटर ऑफ पॉलिसी नहीं देते. So हो सकता है I will decide not to waste my time and energy on this. मेरा टाइम भी बचेगा, आपका टाइम भी बचेगा. So again and again we are coming to the same thing. In order to ensure uniformity and the equality among all the PIOs treatment, so that no unwarranted information is given. Okay, अगर पूरा पे स्लिप दे दिया तो it is definitely unwarranted information. जिसका पे स्लिप दे दिया वो बिल्कुल आपके खिलाफ कंप्लेंट कर सकता है. मैं जो जीपीए में जितना डालता हूँ आपने कैसे दे दिया आरटी एप्लीकेंट को, देना नहीं चाहिए. मेरा हाउस बिल्डिंग एडवांस का कितना पैसा कट रहा है आपने कैसे दे दिया आरटी एप्लीकेंट को. नो डिडक्शंस आर नॉट. मैं पोस्टल लाइफ इंश्योरेंस में जमा करता हूँ थोड़ा पैसा, आपने कैसे बता दिया इनको. So these are information that you should not give. That is why there is a degree of uniformity is required, and a ready reckoner, negative list and positive list is carries a much weight in that. Okay, but then whatever it is, whatever it is, 1 minute, Mr. Jaisal, 1 minute. Whatever it is, once the appellate authority has issued an appellate order, PIO has no business to question that. That's all. PIO का जब खत्म हो गया जब वो उसने जवाब दे दिया. बाकी appellate authority कुछ भी करें ये appellate authority का मामला है. Okay. Yes, Mr. Jaiswal. Tell me, sir.
सर मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ कि ये अगर पे स्लिप है, पे स्लिप में हमने जो ड्रॉन स्टेटमेंट है वो देना है, तो और दूसरा हमारा जो डिडक्शन है, अगर हम वो नहीं देते तो हम तो इंफॉर्मेशन क्रिएट करना हो गया ना.
क्यों क्रिएट करना हो गया? उसको तो ब्लॉक करना, उसको
ब्लॉक कर देना है, बाकी का
that's all.
ओके.
आपको मैं और भी आइडिया बताता हूँ. सुनिए, ये ब्लॉक भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है आपको सेक्शन 4 के अंदर सो मोटो डिस्क्लोजर का जो प्रोविजन है उसमें ये लिखा है, अपने आप किसी की पूछे बगैर you are not received any RTA application without getting any application, and suo moto every public authority should publish the names of their employees and the salary drawn and their public domain. उसकी बात कोई पे स्लिप मांगता है तो जवाब दीजिए, इसका जितना सैलरी मिलता है वो पब्लिक डोमेन में है, वहां जाके देख लो, बात खत्म.
Yes.
Hello,
Right?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
sir. One question.
We'll proceed now. Okay. Deemed CPIO liable for consequences. We had discussed the concept of deemed CPIO. CPIO के ऊपर कुछ भी जो भी एक्शन लिया जा सकता है वो deemed CPIO के ऊपर भी लिया जा सकता है. Okay. So nobody should be under the wrong impression that I am not the PIO, so I have nothing to worry. Okay. Because every person who has some information with him or her is liable to be treated as a deemed PIO. Information destroyed as per retention schedule is non-existent. Now this is a very important provision. Somebody is asking a information which is relating to 25 years old. Now, government department, when there are something called record retention schedules. Okay. When the file is closed, the file before sent to record room, it has to be classified as classification A, B or C. A and B are highly important files and C are normal day-to-day files. A and B files have to be kept for a minimum period of 25 years. And C files are to be kept for a period of 10 years. Now these are all laid down. कौन सी फाइल को कितना रखना है record retention schedule में laid down है. And every office every year has to conduct a review board. And review board में करके देखना है हमारी ऑफिस में कितनी क्लासिफिकेशन सी फाइल्स have completed their 10 years. जो फाइल अपने रिटेंशन पीरियड खत्म कर चुके हैं एंड जिन फाइल को रिटेन करने की आगे रखने की कोई मतलब नहीं है. इन अदर वर्ड, all those records which have lost their utility have to be weeded out and destroyed. Right? Now, normally सरकारी ऑफिस में record management और review and destruction of record होता नहीं है, review board नहीं होता. Now, RTA आने के बाद बिल्कुल नहीं होता है, क्योंकि डिस्ट्रॉय करने की बात करें तो बोलेगा यहाँ कोई RTA एप्लीकेशन फाइल करेगा तो हम फंस जाऊंगा. The question is, if you have destroyed a file after following the standard operating procedure, a properly 3-member board was constituted, they reviewed the complete file and they came to the conclusion these files have outlived their utility and therefore these to be destroyed, weeded out. It is submitted to the competent authority, got approved, and the files have physically been destroyed. And a destruction certificate is given below the board, the minutes of the committee. Yes, 100 files containing so many pages as approved by the competent authority have been physically destroyed in my presence. If somebody signs it and keep it, ये जो destruction certificate, proof of destruction अपने पास रखिए. इसकी बाद कोई RTA एप्लीकेशन डालता है, मुझे वो फाइल दे दो. आप देखते हो फाइल 15 साल पुराना है, 4 साल पहले इसका डिस्ट्रक्शन हो गया, आपके पास बोर्ड का मिनट्स है. You have no liability, you just reply to him, according to our retention schedule, this file was to be kept only till 2015 and you have conducted a board in 16 and the file has been destroyed. Here is the destruction certificate. That's all. You have nothing to worry about this. Is it clear? So destroy हो गया तो वो non-existent. Reasons for decision to be specifically recorded. जब आप आरटीए एप्लीकेंट को जवाब देते हो, जवाब में ये कहते हो मैं कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दे सकता, ये इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं देना है, आपको ये भी लिखना है मैं इंफॉर्मेशन क्यों नहीं दे रहा हूं, क्योंकि द कंटेंट्स ऑफ दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इज ऑफ दिस नेचर एंड इज कवर्ड अंडर द सो एंड सो एग्जम्पशन क्लॉज. So and so exemption clause. Okay. So and so exemption clause. Okay. Reasons for decisions to be specifically recorded. Now, fresh issue not admissible at appellate level. RT application डाला, जवाब दिया. Appeal डालते time you cannot ask additional information. Appeal has to be related to only what is the content of the original application. उससे ज्यादा उसे fresh issues नहीं ला सकते. CPIO has to provide information, not opinion, interpretation, clarification. गलती से भी CPIO अपनी opinion मत देना, ठीक है? Yes, give only information. अगर कोई opinion भी मांगता है, कहीं recorded opinion आपके पास है, वो उसका copy निकाल के दे दीजिए. Otherwise, just reply no information is available. Cost of wages of manpower not to be computed for remittance by applicant. शुरू में क्या होता था, लोग क्या करते थे, इंफॉर्मेशन इकट्ठे करने के लिए 2 क्लर्क 2 दिन काम किए थे. सो 2 क्लर्कों का 2 दिन का तनख्वाह कितना आता है वो भी उसने एप्लीकेंट से मांगने के लिए ऐड कर दिया. सो CIC से डांट पड़ा. देन इट मेड वेरी क्लियर cost of wages of manpower is not for to be charged from RT applicant, right? All information more than 20 years disclosable except under clause 81A, under clause A, C and I of section 8. This I discussed already. 20 साल पुराना हो गया तो इंफॉर्मेशन सब कुछ दे देना है एक्सेप्ट एग्जम्पशन मटेरियल, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी, पार्लियामेंट्री प्रिविलेज एंड कैबिनेट पेपर. इन तीनों को छोड़ के बाकी कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन हो, अगर 20 साल पुराना है तो exemptions are no more valid. Provisions of third party and exemptions of personal information may be weighed on account of public interest. Provision of third party and exemptions of personal information. It only means अगर third party information भी हो या personal information भी हो, अगर public interest है उसमें आप उसको दे सकते हो, right? Now, normally the reply should go under the signature of the CPIO. CPIO ये पावर किसी और को नहीं दे, या मेरे पास बहुत काम है, नीचे वाला ऑफिसर को बोलो तुम रिप्लाई साइन करके भेज देना. No, normally it is the CPIO who should sign. Appellate authority's decisions to be bear his signature. Appellate authority is a statutory and quasi-judicial authority. It has to bear the signature of the authority who takes the decision. Untraceability of information is acceptable where diligent search to trace is evident. कई बार information traceable नहीं होता. Now, जब information traceable नहीं होता है, इस बहाने आप information देने करते हो, trace करने के लिए हमने क्या कोशिश किया. Supposing your important file is lost, what action will you take to retrieve that file? You will form a committee. They will write to every section, ask them to go through their record, get a confirmation from every section that this file is not available. A proper search has been made, physically searched in my section, it is not available. And now once you get every response from every section, now the committee comes to the conclusion, this file is not traceable. ऐसे एफर्ट की जरूरत है. अगर नहीं तो CIC पूछेगा तुमने क्या कोशिश किया ढूंढने के लिए, right? Information to be collected from many sources, keep the applicant informed and build an air of confidence about the delay. That's what I told you. अगर information इकट्ठे करने में टाइम लगता है जरूर लिखिए, इंटरव्यू रिप्लाई जरूर भेजना applicant को. Period of default for penalty not determined mechanically. Okay. Now it says that 250 rupees for every day of delay, right? Now the PAO says, sir, मेरे पास information आया 30th day. I forwarded it on 31st day. Will I be charged for 1 day delay? No. Right? But if the information was available on day 1, but you forwarded it only on day 29, and it reached the petitioner after day 40, post delay हो गया 40वां दिन में मिला. Now the question will arise. If the information was already available with you on day 1 itself, why did you delay it for 25 days so that the information reached the petitioner delayed? So the thing is, logic will be applied and there is no mechanical calculation of this, right? Information short should be related to functioning of public authority. RTA के अंदर जो भी information आपने मांगना है, that should be related to the public functioning. You cannot ask any other information. Now people sometimes ask irrelevant information. Okay. There was an application filed in the initial days of RTI in National Institute of Health and Family Welfare. The application said, Mr. So-and-so is an employee working in your organization. Before joining your organization, this employee had an affair with a couple of people. Please give the details of those affairs. Now, is it something concerning the functioning of NIHW? No. So this is per se under the provision, the preamble, this is not covered under that. Because RTI is for functioning, the transparency and accountability in the functioning of the public authority. Then we had another application from Bhopal. An applicant had written, the American Central Intelligence Agency, American CIA, has planted a bug inside my body. अपनी body के अंदर बोल रही है. एक bug plant किया. Please give me all the details. This application goes to the police department in Bhopal. And for a change, police department very politely replies, ma'am, हमारे पास इसके बारे में कोई information नहीं है. Now the question is, this question of somebody X has planted a bug in my body, what does it have to do with the functioning of the police department of Bhopal? So any information has to be related to the functioning of the public authority. Anything else can be rejected. Responses to request should be formulated in each specific query. एक application में अगर 4 query है, चारों को अलग अलग जवाब देना चाहिए. Just like a parliament question. You have to give चारों को अलग अलग जवाब देना चाहिए. ठीक है? Case being sub judice is not specified ground for exemption. जिस केस के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन आप मांग रहा है आरटीए में और उसके बारे में एक कोर्ट केस भी चल रहा है, there will be a tendency for us to give a reply. The case is already in the court of law, so we will not give you the information. No, this is wrong. Case being sub judice is not specified ground for exemption. आपको इंफॉर्मेशन होते हुए भी मना करना है. You have to link it to one of the exemption section. You have to say information is available, however, it is of this nature and it is exempted under section 8(1) so and so, so and so. Right? Okay. Any questions, anything now?
सर उसमें अभी बताया गया कि व्हाट व्हाई ये सब यूज अगर करके क्वेश्चन आता है आरटीआई में एप्लीकेशन, उसका जवाब नहीं देना, लेकिन बिना इसके तो कोई क्वेश्चन ही नहीं बनेगा.
नहीं, व्हाट व्हेन का मतलब ये नहीं है जब व्हाट वर्ड कर दिया तो मना करो. ओके, वेयर कर दिया तो मना कर दो. व्हाट व्हेन का मतलब ये है जिसके आंसर आपके पास रिकॉर्ड में नहीं है. आई टेल यू सिंपल एग्जांपल. What is the future plan of financial plan of Prasar Bharati? Okay, this question comes. Now it is quite possible Prasar Bharati has got a prospective plan बना के रखे हो आप. अगले 5 साल में क्या क्या करना है, long term plan document may be available with you. In that case, you cannot say that because I am use the word what, your application is rejected. No. Okay. Another but the other query, when will I get my promotion as DDG? No, इसका कोई किसी के पास आंसर होगा? नहीं. So this is what to interpret. Don't reject an application just because what, why, when are written. No. See, it says questions in the form of what, when, to which there is no concrete answer आपके पास नहीं है. ये आपको देखना. आपके रिकॉर्ड में आंसर रहता, वो व्हाट यूज करें, व्हेन यूज करें, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ओके. और व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन? मिस्टर लालमणि, व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन अबाउट द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ प्रसार भारती?
सर बहुत सारे
Don't give me a reply. I don't want your opinion. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
कम से कम RT applicant ऐसे आता है तो अपना ओपिनियन मत देना. What? What is your opinion? That is not an RTA query.
Available
Right.
document have to give it, sir.
Eh?
Available information have to be conveyed, sir. Only.
How can you convey, Mr. Lalmani? He is asking what is your opinion. This is what is your opinion? मेरा opinion कहीं लिख के मैंने नहीं दिया. प्रसार भारती के फंक्शनिंग के बारे में मिस्टर लालमणि के ओपिनियन क्या है? कहीं डॉक्यूमेंट पड़ा है?
नहीं.
That's all. The information is not available, or this is not covered under the definition of information. Never answer an RT application from what is in your mind. Okay.
Sir, there is a
Yes, Mr. Rakesh Kumar. अरे कोई पूछा था राकेश?
हाँ सर.
हाँ कुछ पूछ रहे थे आप? पूछिए.
डिपार्टमेंट जैसे डीपीसी टाइम टू टाइम नहीं हो रही है.
हाँ.
टाइम से होनी चाहिए एज पर रूल.
करेक्ट.
इसमें क्यों आगे हम नहीं कर सकते कि भाई आप मेनी डीडीजीज आर एलिजिबल टू बिकम एडीजी?
आप इसके ऊपर एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन दे सकते हो, एक कंप्लेन कर सकते हो, लेकिन आरटीआई के अंदर क्या मांगेंगे? आरटीआई के अंदर ये मांगेंगे जल्दी ऑर्डर करें, जल्दी डीपीसी करो. आरटीआई इज नॉट अ ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल मैकेनिज्म. RTA is a mechanism through which you can ask for information that is not available to you otherwise. और administrative seniority list है. ओके. DDG का seniority list का कॉपी दे दो, ये RTA कर सकते हो. राइट. मेरे को DPG क्यों नहीं कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं? हाँ, उसके लिए जवाब है. RTA कर सकते हो, लेकिन जवाब क्या होगा? उनके पास कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन है तो तब दे देंगे. That's what I tell you, क्योंकि हमारी grievance redressal mechanism function नहीं करता है. Employees are also compelled to file RTA application for grievances also. But rightfully, RTA is not a grievance redressal mechanism. So DDG का DPC अगर नहीं हो रहा है, there must be a grievance cell in your office, isn't it? प्रसार भारती में grievance cell है, grievance handling mechanism है, होगा ना? होगा जरूर. There must be something.
है नहीं, मतलब साइट पे कि ऐसा कुछ है?
Yes, it is there.
Pardon?
साइट में दिया हुआ
Sure,
है,
sure,
बट से कुछ है नहीं.
नहीं, there must be a grievance and employee grievance cell हर organization में होता है, प्रसार भारती में भी होगा. So these kind of issues you have to file, take up with them. हाँ, I agree with you, क्योंकि या तो वो फंक्शन नहीं कर रहा है या वहां कोई मेरी बात सुन नहीं रहे, तो मजबूर होकर मैं यहाँ आरटीआई एप्लीकेशन फाइल करता हूँ. बट आरटीआई में क्या जवाब देगा पीआईओ? पीआईओ ये तो जवाब नहीं दे सकता, अगले महीने हो जाएगा. ओके.
थैंक यू सर.
ये तो नहीं बोलेगा. दैट इज व्हाट द मीनिंग ऑफ व्हाट व्हाई, इसका ये मतलब है. ठीक है. राइट. एनी अदर क्वेरीज?
Nandini ji, if you're there, you had something to ask now. I saw something recently in the chat box from your side.
चैट बॉक्स में है, लेट मी सी. Information about casual or contractual staff, can it be disclosed suo motu? और आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन है तो डेफिनेटली, who are the 100 casual labor are employed, disclose it.
हाँ, यहाँ पे दीजिए थोड़ा. आधा आधा कर दीजिए।
अगर रेगुलर एम्प्लॉयज को डिस्क्लोज कर सकते हैं तो कैजुअल एम्प्लॉयज का भी डिस्क्लोज कर सकते हैं, देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन इट। बट और कुछ नहीं है चैट बॉक्स में, ठीक है।
Participants are invited to raise whatever doubts that are there in their minds related to this topic. This
Sir.
is one of the
हाँ.
most.
Good afternoon, sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून,
Yes.
हु इज
सर
दैट?
जैसे कैजुअल
राजा।
अनाउंसर्स होते हैं आकाशवाणी में
हाँ.
कैजुअल होते हैं, कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल पोस्ट होती है ये सर, कोई टेम्परेरी
हम्म।
परमानेंट नहीं है, ये कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल है, महीने में 6 दिन ड्यूटी लगती है। तो
हम्म।
इन लोगों का सर 2015-16 में एग्जाम हुआ था, लोकल एग्जाम, तो उसके बारे में जानकारी दे सकते हैं कि अगर कोई आरटीआई लगे कि मार्क्स कितने आए कैजुअल अनाउंसर्स के और क्वेश्चन पेपर क्या दिया उन्हें?
देखो, मार्क्स एग्जाम में जो मार्क्स है, when you conduct an examination, कुछ लोगों को सेलेक्ट किए होंगे आप, राइट?
जी जी जी
कुछ लोगों को सेलेक्ट नहीं किया होगा,
जी
राइट? नाउ
जी
a
बिल्कुल।
person who has failed to get selected, he has got a right to know जो लास्ट सक्सेसफुल कैंडिडेट का मार्क ना कितना है। ओके, नेचुरली whenever you conduct an examination, ये ट्रांसपेरेंसी ऐसे होना चाहिए, जब भी एग्जामिनेशन कंडक्ट करते हो सबसे एप्लीकेंट्स का नाम वेबसाइट में डाल दो, राइट? एग्जामिनेशन का स्कीम का वेबसाइट में डाल दो, एंड फाइनली सेलेक्ट कट ऑफ परसेंटेज ये भी वेबसाइट में डालो, एंड सेलेक्टेड कैंडिडेट्स का नाम और नंबर आपको पब्लिश कर देना चाहिए। अगर आपने 10 कैंडिडेट्स को सेलेक्ट किया था, इन 10 कैंडिडेट्स का क्या नंबर है, परफॉर्मेंस है, दिस शुड बी पब्लिश्ड। ओके, और यूपीएससी एग्जाम कंडक्ट करते हैं मेरिट लिस्ट निकल जाता है। ओके, मेरिट लिस्ट निकलता है, इन द ऑर्डर ऑफ मेरिट इट इज पब्लिश्ड। नाउ यू डोंट हैव टू पब्लिश द मार्क्स ऑफ द पीपल हु हैव नॉट क्वालिफाइड। तो जहां तक एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम इज कंसर्न, सुओ मोटो इंफॉर्मेशन आपकी वेबसाइट में आ जाना चाहिए, ताकि पीपल डोंट हैव एनी रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर आस्किंग एनीथिंग। एंड इसमें देयर इज नथिंग, फेल्ड कैंडिडेट को कितना नंबर आया वो आपको देना नहीं है, बिकॉज दैट इज हिज पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन। ठीक है
जी सर, सेकंड
यस
क्वेश्चन
मिस्टर तिरुஞான संबंधम आस्क समथिंग।
हेलो।
यस
सर।
बोलिए राजन। तिरुஞான
Hello.
संबंधम, okay, तिरुஞான संबंधम is asking, is there any time limit for personal inspection by the applicant if allowed from the date of reply? Total, Mr. Sambandam, total 30 days. Within 30 days, you have to allow the inspection. So you have to give the right, the normal information deadline is the same here also, for inspection also. Inspection is the right to information. Therefore, whether you are giving the information or whether you are asking him to come and inspect, that should be done within 30 days. 30 days is the normal time reply. Okay? Right. Anybody? Yeah, Raja Srivastava, you asked another question. What is it?
सर जैसे
Rakesh Kumar, बताइए।
सर, तो राकेश कुमार।
One of you ask, whoever it is. Rakesh, you ask.
Yes, sir. Applicant asking me give anybody जो है LTC bill, children education bill, CGHS card, photocopy can be given or not?
किसी दूसरे का?
जी सर।
Not at all. Not at all. I can't ask your CGHS card. I can't ask a copy of your details. ठीक है? That is personal information.
These are personal. Service book photocopy we also personal.
No, you cannot give the photocopy of somebody else's service book.
This item can't be given.
But promotion orders of everybody is open. Transfer orders are open.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All these bills can't be given photocopy.
No, I can't ask a photocopy of your service book. No question.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thanks, sir.
but then if you are promoted from one post to another post, promotion order is issued. That should automatically be uploaded in the website of the organization. So it is already there. If I am transferred from a promotion order, transfer order, these are all open. But then my service book is my service book. You cannot ask for a copy of that, nor can I ask a copy of your service book. Okay?
Yes. Yes, he is asking due to some irregularity LTC bill, children education bills. That's why he is asking me, give me photocopy of that person bills.
No, no, no. Unless he is able to establish public interest. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
नॉर्मल कोर्स में ऐसे केसेस में किसी को मत दीजिए. If he goes on an appeal, let him prove in the appellate authority that yes, I want this. I gave you the example of the doctors and their medical certificates. Remember,
Yes.
it was not given because it was personal information. But then this applicant reached the CIC and in the appeal he convinced that yes, CIC that sir मैं public interest में मांग रहा हूँ ये. He could convince the CIC that there is a public interest involved in this. Then the CIC ordered give the information. Otherwise, it will lead to unending. It will open a Pandora's box. Every person, मैं आपके डिसीजन से मैं छुट्टी मांगता हूँ, आप छुट्टी नहीं देते हो, मैं आपकी सर्विस बुक की कॉपी मांगूंगा.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? There is no end to this, right?
Okay, thank you.
सर सर मैं एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहता हूँ.
रमेश,
Sir, good afternoon.
कैसा पूछिए? Okay.
क्लेम है सर.
Okay, Mr. Jaiswal, पूछिए. Ramesh, I'll come to you, Ramesh. First, Mr. Jaiswal.
सर मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन के पीआईओ या रिकॉर्ड होल्डर्स अगर गलत इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं और सीपीआईओ के थ्रू अगर इंफॉर्मेशन भेजा जाता है तो अगर पनिशमेंट मिलता है तो रिकॉर्ड होल्डर को मिलेगा या सीपीआईओ को?
देखो, सीपीआईओ का ये करना है. If the record holder has given a wrong information,
Yes.
the record holder given a wrong information and CPAO has gone based on the good faith उन्होंने forward कर दिया. ठीक है?
Yes. Yes.
Then the responsibility is that of the record holder.
Yes.
But the CPAO has to prove this in front of the CIC. सर मेरा गलती नहीं है.
जी.
Right? But then it depends upon what is the intention, what is the contents of the document. मान लो रिकॉर्ड होल्डर ने गलती से दे दिया,
जी.
लेकिन अगर कंटेंट्स को पढ़ते ही किसी को समझ में आ जाएगा ये गलत इंफॉर्मेशन है.
Yes.
ऐसे इंफॉर्मेशन को अगर सीपीआईओ पढ़े बगैर फॉरवर्ड कर दिया,
Yes. इंटेंशनली देता है सर वो. तो इंफॉर्मेशन तो सीपीआईओ को भेजना नहीं चाहिए ना.
क्या?
अगर रिकॉर्ड होल्डर इंटेंशनली अगर रॉन्ग इंफॉर्मेशन देता है
हाँ.
तो सीपीआईओ को इंफॉर्मेशन जो है एप्लीकेंट को नहीं देना चाहिए.
नहीं, अगर सीपीआई को अगर पता लगता है इंफॉर्मेशन रॉन्ग है,
जी, तब तो नहीं देना चाहिए.
तब तो नहीं देना चाहिए. बिल्कुल नहीं, तब तो नहीं देना चाहिए. बिल्कुल सही है.
जी.
अब वो सीपीआई को पता लगता है रॉन्ग इंफॉर्मेशन, फिर नहीं देना चाहिए. ओके. Yes, Ramesh, before we break for tea, Ramesh, you have several questions.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir,
Mr.
we
Ramesh.
reply RTA. Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, we sent the reply RTA, then they return back address is not found. Should we make effort to send it again or we have to keep it?
Put it in the file and keep the file inside. That's all.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Right.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay.
Because this address may come up after 10 years or maybe after 10 months he may come and ask you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay,
But
thank you.
you cannot go on searching where is he available or not.
Oh, sir.
You have sent it. It has been returned. Address is not available, not found.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Along with the postal cover where it is
Cover.
written.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
File it and keep it. That's all.
Yes, sir.
No
Yes,
other
sir.
further.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think we'll have a break now. Mr. Oja?
हाँ सर, मैं ये कह रहा था कि we have almost finished all the
Content,
entire
yes.
content of the workshop.
Yes.
और हम लोग इनफैक्ट सर इसको वाइंड अप भी कर सकते हैं.
अच्छा.
आप जो है वो इनफैक्ट ब्रेक ना लें. अब टी ब्रेक लेने का ज्यादा पॉइंट नहीं है.
Okay.
Let us continue.
So we can spend another 15 minutes asking for queries.
हाँ,
ठीक है?
क्वेरीज
ठीक है.
वगैरह जो भी
Good enough.
लोगों के मन में है वो पूछें.
या
और आप उसका
पूछिए.
जवाब दे दें. और
Yeah.
also you can quickly revise the content matter. एक फास्ट एक रिकैप करा देंगे तो it will be kind of very useful for all of us.
ठीक है. Okay.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Any questions?
मोबाइल नंबर की जानकारी मांग सकते हैं क्या? किसी मोबाइल नंबर की जानकारी, उसके मोबाइल नंबर होल्डर का नाम वगैरह वगैरह.
If the mobile number is your personal number, nobody can ask the details. लेकिन ऑफिस ने आपको मोबाइल दे रखा है, ये तो आपको सो मोटो डिस्क्लोज करना चाहिए. अगर आपको ऑफिस टेलीफोन नंबर दे रखा है, वो सेक्शन 4 के अंडर सो मोटो डिस्क्लोजर में ही दे देना चाहिए. बट मेरा पर्सनल मोबाइल है, यू कैन नॉट डिस्क्लोज इट अंडर टू एनीबडी अंडर आरटीआई.
बाकी हम यानी कि सर किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति के मोबाइल नंबर की जानकारी नहीं मांग सकते, इसका मतलब?
नहीं ना, यही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, मतलब तो यही हुआ ना.
जी जी जी, ओके.
अब ये थोड़ी मांगो कि अपने ऑफिस में जितने लोग हैं सबका मोबाइल नंबर मुझे दे दो. ये नहीं चलता ना. हाँ, लेकिन ऑफिस का अलॉटेड ऑफिशियल टेलीफोन नंबर, लैंडलाइन इंक्लूडिंग मोबाइल नंबर शुड बी पब्लिश्ड. दैट शुड बी अवेलेबल. सो मोटो डिस्क्लोजर में ये आ जाना चाहिए.
जी जी.
So, can the ACR or correspondence on ACR of an employee
हाँ.
be disclosed without obtaining his permission under this act?
ACR of an employee, you will disclose it. What's your name? Your
I'm LK Salgat,
okay?
Superintending Engineer, Electrical, Nagpur.
What's the name?
LK Salgat, SALGS.
Salgar. Mr. Salgar, what's your question? If somebody ACR related information of somebody else,
Somebody else is asking for the information under RTI Act, can it be disclosed?
I mean, I am asking under RT Act, what is the ACR of Mr. Oja?
Yeah, or the correspondence.
No question. You cannot.
Or
Cannot.
correspondence.
That's a personal information. Number one, it's a personal information, and there is also some interpretation. This is a fiduciary capacity, okay, of the reporting officer and returner. But anyway, that's a debatable thing. I cannot ask the ACR. I'll tell you a simple case. Okay, now there was one in I think Oriental Bank of Commerce, which has now been merged with PNB. There, one of the officers did not get promotion to the higher grade, right? But
Yes.
in the same thing, around 200 officers were promoted who were junior to the applicant. Now, this applicant filed an RT application. I want the copies of the ACR of all the 200 officers who are junior to me. Now, sometimes courts also have activist members. Like Central Information Commission also has some activist members. Who are, I know there was one member called Sailesh Gandhi, okay, who was the RTA activist first, and then he was inducted as a member of the CIC. Now, this case happened to go to his bench. Now, Sailesh Gandhi said, yes, the public has a right to know how the officers are functioning. What is wrong in giving the approach? Give the ACRs away. Okay. Now, what happened? These people were in a quandary. More than 200 officers, they have to make a photocopy of the APAR and give it to somebody else as an RT applicant, not the employee. Now, ultimately, they did not give it. They went to the High Court. Okay. Delhi High Court got the orders of the CIC. They said, no, this cannot be done. But they said, if at all you want to give it, treat this as a third party information and write to every officer, can I give the APAR copy? Now, reality, will any officer say that you can give my APAR copy? The question doesn't arise. So, nutshell, it is, you cannot ask for the personal details of anybody. As far as an APAR is concerned, it is the personal details of so-and-so the employee, and that is between him or her and the organization. The third party has any other individual has no role in this. Okay?
Moreover, it does not serve any public purpose.
Eh? You can't make it
Moreover-
public. No, you can't make it public.
No, it does not serve any public purpose.
You can write that also. It does not have any public interest. But the other thing is you can also take the clause of personal information. Rather than going to public interest, you can say it's a personal 81J. Go to section 8(1)(j), it is a personal information, it cannot be given, that's all. And exempted, okay?
But
Right.
can,
Thank you.
sir,
Thank you. Yes,
RTI applicant can see the APR of others,
RT applicant,
can see the others APR. कोई भी जैसे ऑफिसर है सर, वो दूसरे का सीआर देखने के लिए बोल सकता है आरटीआई में?
नहीं हो सकता, कैसे कर सकते? हाउ कैन आई सी यू पेपर? यही तो बात कर रहे थे अभी।
नहीं, वो देने के लिए बोल रहे थे ना सर।
सालकर से नहीं देना, सवाल ही नहीं होता है। पहले तो 2009 से पहले अपना खुद का अपार भी नहीं देख सकते थे।
या सर,
See, forget about others. The situation that was existing before 2009 was that I cannot see even my own APAR. At a time when it was called ACR, Annual Confidential Report. But the question is, it was only in government we used to call it ACR. बाकी जगह private sector में, even at that point that nobody used to call annual confidential report. The confidential part was only in the government. Okay. Now ultimately it took a Supreme Court case, right? I think it was a UP Jal Nigam versus something. I don't remember the name now. There was the case of a person who filed an application in the UP Jal Nigam case. Supreme Court said that, yeah, apna ACR मांग रहे हो तो दिखाओ उसको. How can you see? The thing is, somebody is denied promotion. Promotion is based on APARs, but he said that I have never been told my APARs are bad. You have never told me that I lack in something. So I want to see my APAR. Jal Nigam said, no, we will not show you. APAR cannot be shown. I mean, at that time it was ACR. ACR cannot be shown. Ultimately, the case landed in Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, not only change the thing, show him, they issued instruction of the government, open up ACR business. An employee has got a right to know how he or she has performed. Afterwards, everybody changed. Now it is APAR. Now the question is, most of the organizations, after the initiating officer initiates the APAR, reporting officer and reviewing officer. Reviewing officer, after writing his report, he called the person, he hands over a photocopy and gets the signature of the person in the APAR. हमारे कैडर में था 2011 पहले self appraisal, initiating officer and reviewing officer. Reviewing officer की remarks के बाद एक column होगा where it is I have so and so KS Kumar have seen my annual performance appraisal report for the year so and so and received a copy of the same. I signed there. Photocopy हमें दे देता. So when I retired, I got my 4 last ACR APARs photocopy with me. But I cannot get a photocopy of Mr. Lalmani's APAR or Mr. Jaisal's APAR. There is no way out. Okay. Right. There is something in the chat box. I know one case in which one of my friend who is working Prasar Bharati asked for an information of his selection merit list number from Prasar Bharati Secretariat under RTI. Prasar Bharati replied to him that the asked information was not available with them and transferred his application to DGIR. But then even after 2 months, no, not any. I don't know. There's an internal problem. I cannot give a reply. See, if you have published a merit list, somebody should have a copy of the merit list. Merit list should be published. It is not that merit list you keep in the file and say that I will promote one by one. I will not tell. If something has been done, that is not proper. That's what I can say to Mr. Indrajit Anil Bagal. Okay. All right. Any other thing? Okay. If there is nothing I'll just give me a thing. I'll just take 5 minutes to wind up. Let's consolidate what we have learned here. Okay. Okay, let us now reinforce the whole thing. RTA gives a lot of rights to the citizens. Let us go one by one. If a citizen can make a request to the PIO or APIO, he can choose the medium of request, that is paper or electronic. He can choose the language of request, Hindi, English and the local language. Seek exemption for fee. BPL is exempted from fee. Seek help for writing a request. An illiterate applicant can come and tell the PIO that I want this information, please make an application for me. Not to state the reasons of request. He doesn't have to say why he needs this information, right? Receive information if request is transferred. Section 6.3 we discussed. Presumption of refusal and consequent right to complain. If you don't reply within 30 days, he may presume that your information has been rejected and he will go on a complaint, right? No costing detail. If I have 400 pages of information, I should ask him 800 rupees, give the detail. Your information is 400 pages, 800 rupees. Waiver of cost. Who entitles waiver of cost? BPL. BPL has no application fee also, no cost of fee. Reasons for rejection of request. If my request is rejected, I should know the reasons. Assistance to access a physically disabled. If your office is in the 10th floor of a multi-storied building and there is a physically disabled person wants to inspect a file of yours and is applied in RTA, don't call him to the 12th floor. Okay. Ensure that you arrange for inspection on the ground floor where he can comfortably come and inspect. Right? More details to proceed with appeal. Every RTA application reply should contain the details of appellate authority. Choose medium of response to be received, including sample. I think we told you yesterday, model or sample जिस form पे चाहिए वो मांग सकते हैं. Partial access to records with reasons and limits of access. Severability clause, section 10. Complaint against refusal, rejection of request or denial of access. Right? He has got a right to appeal. He has got a right of second appeal. He has got a right to influence the penalty against PIO. CIC में hearing के लिए बुलाते हैं, वहां जाके applicant argue कर सकता है, ये PIO मुझे तंग करता है, ये जानबूझ के मुझे information नहीं दे रहा. And force the burden of proof on PIO. अपनी position clear करने का responsibility is that of the PIO. Influence disciplinary action against the PIO. We can seek the CIC that disciplinary action should be taken against the PIO. Demand third party information, section 11 we have discussed. Demand private party information, this also we discussed yesterday. Any information relating to a private body which is available in a government body is also covered under RTA. Demand on-site inspection. Okay, when the work is going on, I can go and inspect. Receive compensation. If denial of information is resulted in monetary, mental or otherwise damage to me, I can seek compensation. And there are cases where CIC has awarded compensation. Please differentiate between compensation and penalty. Penalty is imposed on the PIO or the deemed PIO, which is to be paid from the pocket of the PIO or the deemed PIO. Whereas compensation is to be paid by the organization to the applicant. The applicant, जिस applicant को compensation awarded है, organization pay करेगा applicant को, RTA applicant को, लेकिन penalty PIO या deemed PIO pay करेगा सरकारी account में, right? From his personal pocket, right? Now, these are the with duty of proactive disclosure, particulars of its organization, duties, function, powers and duties of its officers and employees, procedure to be followed in its decision-making process, channels of supervision and accountability, norms set out by its discharge of function, information about rules, regulations, etc., statement of categories of document, details of any arrangement for consultation by representation of members of the public, list of boards, council, committees, etc., directory of its officers and employees and monthly salary, including the system of compensation as provided for in its rule. Budget allocated to each of its agencies indicating particulars of all plan, proposed expenditure and reports. Details of implementation of subsidy program. Details of any concession, permits, authorization granted. Details of information held by it in electronic form. Right? Now, these were the original information that was required to be provided under section 4. Subsequently, government has elaborated this and included a number of things like that, supply orders placed, contracts awarded, public-private partnership and got into too. Okay, so a number of these things has been published. Yes, role of the government is to identify the public authority, appoint PIO, APIO, strengthen information commission, complete public information directory or handbook, notify the rules, open budget heads, lay down procedures, develop basic practice manuals for APIOs, PIOs and departmental appellate authorities, lay down procedures for deciding partial access under section 10 and 11, develop basic guidelines, undertake sensitization and training programs, develop user guide, and undertake public education. These are all the duties of the government. Of course, overall records maintenance and management. For proper implementation of RTI, what is necessary is proper implementation of Record Management Act. If we maintain our records properly and weed out unwanted record, we will have much less problem under RTI. Most of the problems under RTI is that records are available, but we do not know where it is, because wanted records, unwanted records, all are lying in a dump. The records are not kept in a retrieval driven mode. Records are just kept in a deposit mode. That's all. You deposit the record. You are not bothered about retrieval. Of course, these are potential educator, requester, advisor, potential monitor, supplier, etc. This is the role of civil society. Civil society was the one which initiated which culminated in the implementation of RTI. Now, can you read this? I'm sure many of you must have seen this statue. This is the statue of a Tamil poet called Thiruvalluvar, who lived more than 2000 years ago. You will find it in Kanyakumari if you've gone on LTC, in the Vivekananda rocks. Now, this poet has written a book called Thirukkural, probably the only treatise. And Thirukkural is a compilation of 1330 couplets, or what you call in Hindi dohas. Now, what is given here is the meaning of two dohas. Okay. The first one says, the suffering that ignorant men inflict on themselves can hardly be caused even by their enemies. That is ignorance, agyanta, lack of knowledge is the worst suffering. Even your enemy cannot make you suffer, cause you so much suffering than ignorance. This is the meaning of that. And another doha says, dearth of knowledge is dire destitution. That is, not knowing is the worst poverty. Other forms of poverty the world deemed less impoverishing. In other words, one can withstand other poverty, but the poverty of information is the worst. For poverty of information or poverty of knowledge is the worst thing that can happen to human being. The point I'm giving you, this is Thirukkural verses 843 and 841. Okay. Now, the point I'm making is the right to information is not a new concept. Right to information concept existed even more than 2000 years ago, as you can see from these two verses. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. Okay, truth about the action must be known. Truth about the inaction must be known. Truth about the prohibited action must be known. Mysterious are the ways of action. So Gita is even older than Thirukkural. Okay, so Gita also says people have a right to know what is happening. Right action, inaction, prohibited action, everything should be known to the people. And this is what Bible says. Ask, it shall be given. Seek, you shall get it. Knock, and it shall be opened. For everyone that asketh, receiveth. And he that seeketh, findeth. And to him that knocketh, it shall be opened. Now please remember, before 2005, people were afraid to knock at your doors because you were the master. You, in the sense, Babu was the master. Sarkari Babu was the master. But after 2005, the power has gone to the hands of the citizen. An RTI application you have to dispose of within 30 days. Right? So, it is better to change our mindset rather than getting into any trouble. Now, having said that, it is with a tinge of sorrow that I will say even the government is making all efforts to dilute this act. But then RTA Act is like a zin. Okay, zin has come out of the bottle. Now it cannot be put back into the bottle. People may try to dilute the effect, but then RTA is here for good. So as government servants, the better we understand this and better we implement this, it is better for us and everybody. And the most important thing I always say, now you are a government employee sitting on the other side of the chair. You will have 100 problems in giving our information. But please remember, one day you will also be on this side of the table. One day you will also be standing before some government office and seeking information. So please treat the RT applicant, give the RT applicant now the same treatment that you would expect from somebody else when you go and stand before a government office. So this is in a nutshell. Okay. That's all. We will stop.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Sir, if
Thank you very much, sir. What to say?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
1 minute. Let me come.
PDF
Yes,
may
tell
be-
me. Pardon?
PDF may be shared through mail, sir, to each participant.
PPT.
Sorry.
PPT. दे दूंगा मैं दे दूंगा. No issues. All yours. All issues. Okay.
पीपीटी तो हम सर से लेकर के आप लोगों के मेल पे भेज देंगे. हम भेज देंगे. There's no problem.
भेज देंगे. Otherwise, you can. My mail ID is kskumar0953. kskumar0953 at gmail.com. You can send a 2-line mail to me with your name and this workshop. I will, in the return mail, I will send the PPTs. No issues.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Right. It's
Any
been
other
wonderful,
issue? Any other
being
issue?
with
Any
you.
questions?
It's been wonderful being with you for these 2 days since yesterday. Listening to all the provisions and all the possibilities that RTI contains. सारी चीजें जो है, there is absolutely no doubt that it was a very forward-looking act done in 2005. बहुत successful तो हो पाया है ये कहना मुश्किल है, लेकिन we are still in the process of kind of evolving our mechanisms as far as disclosing information to normal citizen is concerned. तो हम लोग जो है वो अधिक से अधिक चीजों को करने की कोशिश भी कर रहे हैं, कहीं कहीं पे रोकने की भी कोशिश हो रही है, which is a very, very unfortunate thing. So thank you all. My personal thanks to all the participants for having taken their time out to attend this workshop. 2 दिन में हमने इसको खत्म किया. Normally हम 3-4 दिन लगाते हैं in the physical training workshops. इसमें करीब 7-8 sessions होते हैं on different topics. लेकिन because it's an online workshop और उतना वक्त हम लोगों के पास है नहीं इस वक्त, और online workshop में इतना ज़्यादा लंबा कर पाना has become too strenuous also. तो हम इसको compressed और compact form में we have been able to present it in front of you. Thanks to our resource person, K.S. Kumar Sahab, who is such a veteran and such an experienced hand in as far as administrative matters is concerned. So thank you all very much, and especially special thanks to K.S. Kumar Sahab.
Thank you, Ajay, and I take this opportunity to thank every one of you. Okay.
Right.
Thanks a lot for listening. I hope you would have received some inputs or some clarifications, and that would be the good thing.
Right. And as sir said, आप सब लोगों को आपके PPTs आप लोगों के मेल पे मिल जाएंगे very shortly. और दूसरी चीज ये है कि आप सब लोगों के मेल हमारे पास हैं. I'll be sending a feedback form, one feedback form to your mails. वो Google form होता है, तो उसमें 2 लाइन आप लिख करके हमारे पास भेज दीजिएगा. That will kind of give me some kind of a guidance to how to do things in a much better fashion in days to come. तो ये हमारे लिए directive होगा आप लोगों की तरफ से. So thank you all very much once again. Thank you all. Sir,
Okay.
thank you very much for being with
Thank
us.
you, Ajaji. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.